Hello, I'm Rick Stivers. I'd like to welcome you to Young Martin's Reels. Today's project is going to be trying to effect a repair on this click knob assembly for a Zebco 55. And what's happened is the spring that's supposed to come down off of the end of this has snapped off. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to attempt to make a new spring to go on this. And I'm going to try to make it out of this clip assembly. Okay, this old paper clip. Okay, so I'm going to remove the spring sides of that, and I'm going to try straightening this thing out and get it to where I can make it all work. So we're going to start off by trying to flatten out the bends in these corners. Yep, I broke it, I think. Felt like it snapped. We'll find out in a minute for sure, but I'm pretty sure I broke it. So I might have to go find another one and try it over again. I have found that springs don't like to unbend. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's broken. Yep, it is. All right, so much for that one. Unless there's enough of this left to make this out of, and I don't think there is. Let's see here. Maybe. I'm going to try hammering this down flat. I'll be right back in just a second. Okay, here's the spring steel flattened out. And let's see if it looks like there's enough of it left. I may have to go get another one and start over. Yeah, this one's not wide enough. Okay, I'm back. I've got it straightened out now, and the edge cut off of it. And we're going to see if I can make this. Now this one's cracked also. Look at this. No, it's not going to work. Okay. I have a larger piece, and that's this one here. And I've even done a reverse bend on it and everything. It's a heavier steel. And the problem is I bent it too wide. And I guess I will start over again. It looks like it's cracked also. But maybe not. That might be just a seam where it was bent. But I'm trying to find out if there's enough metal here to do the job. All right, I'm going to try to make it off of this plate right here. I'm going to try to cut this plate down. See if I can make that work. It's not going to work that way, but it will work, I think, this way. But I'm not sure it's going to be long enough to get the job done. Whereas this one would be if I made it out of this part of the plate. I think we're going to try to make that work. All right, I'm going to try cutting this down, and I'm going to cut this edge off of it, and I'm going to cut this edge off over here and keep just this plate in the middle of spring steel. And I got to be careful not to overheat it. And once I've done that, then I've got to try to get it to bend into the shape that I need it to make that spring. So we'll see how this turns out, folks. I don't know if this is going to work or not, but we're going to find out. All right, I'm back with this piece of steel, and I'm going to see if I can create a spring out of this. Obviously, I can make it that way. And I don't want to bend a whole lot. So what I'm thinking I'm going to do is cut away the part of it that I don't need. Go ahead and cut it. So that all I've got to bend is just the edge. So I'm going to gently scribe this. I want to make it just about here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut this up to about here. Leaving this center's got to go, but this part over on the outside edge is the part that I need. Okay, same thing on the other side. Okay, so far that's pretty successful, but it's not down quite far enough. So I've got to come back and add it a little bit more cutout into it. A little deeper. To there. Okay, and now we're going to accomplish the same thing on the other side. Okay, that's got the two legs set in there. And but we still have to cut the center out of this. And then I've got to take something and kind of round the corners just a little bit to take a little of that stress relief off of there. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and get this center cut out. Okay, I'm going to try to clean that up just a little bit, get the burr off of it. Okay. We have a spring. And now what it's going to require is for us to get the old spring off. And what I'm going to try to do, I'm going to try to remove just the head of this rivet. All right, I've got it ground down even. I'm hoping that I can just pop it out of there. And I'm going to set it into my little vise. See if I can make that happen. All right, we're going to set the rivet hole over top of the gap. There, that popped it out. Let me straighten this lever again. There we go. All right. All right, this is the broken spring. And there's the rivet that we punched out. It's a little bitty steel rivet. It's about that size right there. Let's see if this one might be bigger. Fit it better. Yeah, I might make one of these rivets out of this spring, and we'll hammer that back down. In the meantime, though, I still need to get the old rivet out. There we go. All right, that got the rivet out. And that will allow us to find out what size hole this is so that we can drill. But before we do that, before we waste any more time, I think it's time to find out if we're going to be able to fold these over. Now, we don't want to eliminate the strength of this, so I'm rather hesitant about heating it. So, I think what we'll do is we'll grab it like this, okay, so that we're holding the part that we don't want to heat up and change the temper on, and we'll try heating up this part because this is not going to need to be a spring piece. We will heat this and see if we can fold this over. Okay, I've got this drilled out to fit on here now. It still needs to be riveted down. I'm going to have to bend this slightly to get it to stay over here, over top of that arm. But it is definitely spring-loaded now for the anti-reverse. Probably going to be a rather loud anti-reverse. But I've got to come up with something to use as a pin in here. And so far, I haven't come up with anything yet. Maybe this little brad nail. Oh, look at that. Okay. That little brad nail is going to fit in there just fine. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut that brad nail off so it's just barely coming through. And I'm going to hammer it down. And that should rivet this piece on here. So let's see about making that happen. By the way, excuse all this mess. Ken just dropped off about 20 more reels with me, so I've got some work to do, and I've got it all piled up here until I can go through and get it all labeled as to what's his and what's mine. And if I'm wrong, if it's too short, I've got more little brad nails. So let's put this one in and give it a look-see. Easier said than done. There we go. It went right into the hole and then came right back out again. There we go. Let's see how that looks coming out the other side. Oh, I cut it off too short. Either that or the brad nail isn't down. No, it's definitely too short. Okay, so we're going to take that one out. I'm going to cut a new one. One more time. All right, let's try this again. There we go. All right, and it sticks up on the other side. Tell you what I'm going to do. Pop this loose. And I'm going to put the brad into the hole. So the story goes. Get a little more light. All right, with that in the hole, I'm going to set the spring down like that. Okay. Now we're going to set this one in. Let's get this over here. Now the problem is that piece sticks up too far. It's got to sit right on the corner like this in order for this to work. There we go, got that in place. Okay. That's hammered on. Oh my gosh. Now, this needs to go down more. There, that got that spring down where it belonged. Okay, now the anti-reverse. There's the spring on the anti-reverse. There's the other spring. And it's right along the edge of this. I don't know how long it needs to be yet. So, this one I know does not need to be any longer than this right here. So we're going to cut it off right about there. Okay, that's got our anti-reverse spring cut and set to place. All right, let me get Ken's reels out of here. All right, we're going to take the vise off the table now. And let's see what it's going to take to put this thing back. First off, I think I'm going to go out and take a look at a picture of the original, the way it's supposed to be, and see if I can get an idea of approximately how long this spring is supposed to be. I'm pretty sure it's not supposed to be that long. Okay, let's set it in place like that. Okay, yeah, I'm really sure that it's not supposed to be that long. So it should be to where it's just impacting on this. So I'm going to mark it. And I can always cut it too long. But if I cut it too short, I'm screwed. So, this is not like it was with that. Okay, we're going to cut it just a hair long. Okay. All right, let's set it in place and see what happens. Still a little too long on the back. All right, this time I'm going to install it all the way. I still may have to pull it all back out one more time. But I'm going to try doing a full install this time and see if I've got it the way it needs to be. Because I think I'm pretty close. I may still have to tweak it a little bit, but I may have cut off too much already. chopped it off too short. As you know, that's not something you can do. Okay, little tweaking, and we've got it working. We got a bite alert. Here's a regular wind. Here's anti-reverse. There's the bite alert. Okay, let's throw this bad boy back together. That's in, that's in, that's in. Let's put the screw back in here. Oh, go ahead and put the clip back in over here. Okay, we're in bite alert mode, so there's our click. Okay, let's put our nut back on. All right. Bite alert works both ways. Go into neutral. Silent. Silent. Go into anti-reverse. Anti-reverse works as long as we put the drag on. There we go. There's our click for the anti-reverse. Oh my. Okay, there's the button. Line comes out freely. Put it back into bite alert. Silent. There we go. All right. This took me about 2.5 hours to make that little spring for this reel and get it hammered on there. And how long it's going to last, I don't know. Fortunately, it won't have to last all that long because I do have a new one on its way here that I can put into this reel. But I was able to fix this. I wanted to see because, let's face it, folks, new ones out there are not always going to be available anymore. They're getting fewer and fewer in between. The gentleman that I'm getting mine from, and I'm not saying his name because I don't want people inundating with requests for one. And but he was kind enough to offer me one, and I do appreciate that. So there you have the click knob assembly repair for the Zebco 55 if you need to replace one. And when I do get a new one in, I'm going to drop this video back down and stick it on the old one and where I put the new one in, and we'll see how that functions. For now, that's Rick Stivers of Young Martin's Reels, signing out.